ಅಂಬರೋ ಮೆಲ್ಲೆ ಸುತ್ತುದೆ ಕಳ್ಳ ಪಾರ್ವತ ಕಣ್ಣೆ ಕೊತ್ತುದೆ
இன்னும் 2 மணி நேரத்துல தலைக்கு
24 hours அவ யாருன்ற மொத்த டீடைல்ஸ் டேபிளுக்கு வந்தானோ.
என்னோட நண்பனா இருக்கிறதுக்கு எந்த தகுதியும் வேண்டாம், ஆனா எதிரியா இருக்கிறதுக்கு தகுதி வேணும்.
ஃபாஸ்ட் ரீட் வந்ததும் வருவதும் திங்கள் முதல் சனி வரை மாலை 4 மணிக்கு.
Welcome back to our program. Thank you very much for joining us once again on this show. Ambassador R. Vishwanathan is my guest here today. He's an expert on anything that's related to South America. And really, I think that's what makes him absolutely fascinating to talk to. And I hope that you're enjoying listening to him as much as I am right here. Sir, when we think about South America and that side of the world, I want to ask you, what about tourism, you know, from India to that side of the world? How is it doing?
It's growing. It's growing. People are going to Rio de Janeiro for the carnival. And now this football is coming, World Cup, people will be coming. And people go to this famous tourist place called Machu Picchu in Peru. In Argentina, people go to see there's a famous glacier, there's a live glacier. And people go to Iguazu Falls, is one of the greatest falls. And people go to Manaus, the Amazon region in Panama. In Brazil, and people go to Mexico to see the ancient Indian civilization. It is growing, and now this has become more after the Bollywood turned its attention to Latin America. Some films were shot in Rio de Janeiro, including Doom 2.
Yeah.
Rajinikanth, here from this Rajinikanth's film called Robot, Indiram. It was shot in Machu Picchu. There was a dance sequence.
Yes.
And there was a television serial which was shot in Buenos Aires, Jodka Jatka, something like that. So now, the people, the Indian tourists who have exhausted their the traditional destinations like Singapore and Malaysia, and Switzerland and Europe and United States, they are looking for exotic places. Now, I'll tell you, right now there are 2 interesting guys. There's one guy who is traveling around in a motorcycle, Indian, a young guy. He is there for the last 3 months and he is going to spend another 6 months over there. Then there is a guy called Malli Mastan Babu. He is a mountain climber who has climbed Mount Everest plus other peaks. Now, he has been in Latin America for the last 6 months, you know, climbing all the tallest peaks over there, and he speaks Spanish. So now this is inspiring adventure tourism. There's a guy from Microsoft Bangalore. He took off for a year and he spent about 7-8 months. He came with a guitar and stayed with friends and hitchhiked all over Latin America, and he had great fun. So I gave his contacts to other people who want to come. But the most interesting thing I found was there were 2 women from Bangalore. They ditched their husbands. I'm sorry, they just left them there and said, we want to go on a trip to Latin America. Fascinating. I was struck that Indian women had courage to go on. So they asked me for my advice and all. They came and you know, they have set an example. So like that, Latin America has become a place for exotic travel and adventure tourism. That's growing.
Right. Of course, your very presence here in Chennai is to foster, you know, increased trade links with South America. Now, what do you think is the way that Indian business will get inspired to be there? I mean, are there any special, you know, privileges or anything like that that would tempt an Indian businessman or, you know, somebody to actually go across there?
No, I tell them that when the Indian businessmen visit Latin America, they come back not only with orders and business and dollars, but they come back happier and younger.
Really? No. I cannot accept that. You're going to have to. No, you have to now explain that to me. Why and how?
You know, it is the spirit of the Latino spirit. You know, I told you about, you know, old age, we don't stop having fun. True. Because in India, we work very hard, and people like, I know my colleagues in Delhi, they have, if you leave the office by 7 o'clock, it's considered something a sin, and you feel guilty. So we are being hardworking. We are an aspiring society, and work hard. We want to catch up, and we want to make up. But the thing is, we don't have a balance in life. We don't enjoy, and then we feel guilty. We don't do justice to ourselves, to our body, to our mind, and the heart. And that is what we have to learn from the Latin Americans who have fun.
Now, sir, over the past 2 days, you have been involved with all the business honchos about, business with South America. And what kind of interest did you actually see?
I found that there is growing interest, and growing interest particularly among small and medium companies. Earlier, the big ones had gone, like TCS, Cognizant, Wipro, Tata, they are all there. But now what I found interesting is smaller guys from Coimbatore, Madurai,
Really?
Trichy. Amazing. There is a company called Confident Engineering, and he does just about $1 million of export, but he exports to Peru, he exports to Colombia, to Dominican Republic, and he is going to tell his story of success story in the CII meeting. So like that, there are a lot of small and medium companies for whom it's a new area and it's an investment. And I found there's tremendous interest among these small and medium companies.
So that's very good, I guess, that definitely there's a very healthy interest and it's growing, and hopefully with people like yourself to sort of maybe nurture, maybe guide industry from here, future is very bright.
Oh yes, in Spanish there is a saying that is juntos podemos, means together we can. So I tell our business community that we work together, the government, the business, and the academic community, in providing information about Latin America, information accurate and relevant for India, and tell them, don't follow what Wall Street Journal says or CNN says, because that's from an American perspective.
Yes.
And they say there are leftist governments, so they make a hue and cry. But I tell them the leftist governments are good for us, because if they are more open to having Indian companies break into their market. So we should see from our perspective. So this is how we work in partnership with government, academics, and business.
And I guess then at the end of the day, it is our perspective that is extremely important. And Ambassador Vishwanathan, on that very positive note, I really want to say thank you very much. And I appreciate your time very much. Thank you very much. I know that you're here for a very short while. And you out there, my viewers, I'm really happy that you could join us. Don't forget to watch our show every single weekend. Do remember that on We Connect, you will always meet people who are interesting, people who are fascinating. And I do believe that people who always, but always have a story to tell us. And so until the next time, you take care. Bye for now.